Hi, this is Teah Gates, and this is my presentation on Fauvism, I believe is how it's said. Yes, this one was very fascinating to me once it was told to us in one of our literatures. So the word sounded interesting, so yes, I chose this as a research topic. What it is that it basically came from a group of artists from 1905 to 1910, so it didn't last very long. But this type of art or painting is mostly characterized by the strong colors that they use and the fierce brushwork, because the paint is put on usually like straight from the tube, you know, as if you were to do it from a toothpaste. You just squirt it and just put it on there. Like, they don't really use paintbrush. They do and they don't. Anyway, so it's just an interesting form, and you can see on here all these tube-like paint strokes on here, which basically makes sense because they just put it straight on the canvas, straight from the paint tubes, and it's directly applied to these paintings. These paintings were actually originally came from France or in the 20th century, which I thought was pretty neat. So Fauvism is known for the bold, vibrant, dark outlines, bold shapes, the sense of depth that the shapes give, the flat colors, and almost acidic colors, and the intuitive application of the paint. Again, you can see the tube-like, you just squirt it on there and just smear it. But it is pretty cool, an interesting way of painting. Back in the day, I guess you didn't really have a whole lot of paintbrushes, so you kind of had to improvise. But for what they had, the paintings are actually pretty good. How you can usually identify it is obviously, again, the paint tube, the tube-like painting strokes, I guess you can say. The use of the color, the surface texture, the spontaneity of the lines drawn on the canvas, and texture of the paint. Like, you can kind of see these dark pencil-like lines. And then like the clashing of the primary colors and the intensity of that. Some of my favorite artists that I found in this type of painting was Henri Matisse. He did this woman in the hat over here. The dark, vibrant primary colors, see how they clash a little bit. And this Robert Anthony Pynchon. Again, the tube-like paintings, but obviously as you get closer to the water here, these lighter strokes are just like tube-like, whereas the back, he probably used more of a brush and drawings. And Andre Derain. His is actually pretty cool. You can see this tube-like paint strokes again. And then, of course, some brush strokes to make the sails in the water, and just a mixture of the different paint strokes in this one makes it a little more lifelike. Maurice Develminick, I think is how you say it. He actually has a lot of detail in his. And up close right here, you can see the tube-like painting. But then, of course, as you go farther back, there's more paint strokes, more blending, stuff like that to make it seem more realistic. This one was actually a really cool painting that I found. And again, it's the tube-like. You just squirt it on there, and it looks like it came straight out of the tube. But it looks so cool. Why this type of painting? It's actually, the style comes from Les Fauves. Sorry, and I'm bad at French speaking. It's actually French for wild beasts, which actually kind of makes sense because this is like a wild-like way of doing art. And it's a group of modern artists. They use the qualities and strong color and the realistic values retained by Impressionism. This movement only lasted a few years, so 1905 to 1908, and they only had 3 exhibitions. So this Fauvism movement didn't last very long. As you can kind of tell, it's kind of hard to look at, but it's really cool at the same time. But anyway, I thought this was a really cool way of painting. And yes, that is Fauvism in a nutshell for you.